The situation in Texas following this Monday's Supreme Court ruling is getting more tense. Republican Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has now sent a letter to the White House basically telling them, go F yourselves. We're not going to stop installing the razor wire. I'm going to have our folks, in spite of the Supreme Court's ruling, install these razor wires because President Biden, Abbott claims, is letting the border fall into disrepair. He's not enforcing the rules of the United States. He went as far as to kind of suggest that this may be an impeachable offense by President Biden, which it's technically not because it's 100% not true. President Biden has not opened up the southern border. He is not telling people, just come on in, we're not going to arrest you, we're not going to deport you, we're not even going to process you, just come on in and get a job and, have at it. That's not a thing that ever happened. But Republicans in this country genuinely believe that has happened. It hasn't. We see reports all the time, usually coming from Republican politicians saying, oh my God, they just apprehended 200 people at the border. This is an invasion. Apprehended people. So by saying that, you're admitting the federal government is doing its job, which means that this idiotic letter sent by this brain-dead governor in Texas makes no sense. But as the governor of Texas remains defiant against the ruling from the Supreme Court, Democratic lawmakers, specifically from Texas, led by Joaquin Castro, are calling on President Biden to federalize the National Guard in the state of Texas to remove the razor wire. Now, I agree with that. Let me say that first and foremost. I think that should happen. But the political strategist side of me understands that if Biden were to do that, it would be a catastrophe. It would be an electoral catastrophe. Abbott, unfortunately, has put Biden between a rock and a hard place. How do you handle this situation without appearing to be allowing immigrants to just come through unfettered? You can't. Even though we know that's not the reality, right, folks? We get that. We understand that, okay? We're all on the same page. Republican voters don't think that. So if Biden comes in, federalizes the National Guard in Texas, forces them to remove the razor wire, what happens for the next 8-9 months of this election cycle? We hear nothing from Republicans other than President Biden literally took our National Guard away from us, stripped us of our states' rights, and he opened the damn border. They will say that. And every Republican in this country will believe it. And unfortunately, a large percentage of Democrats will also believe it. So even though, with the Supreme Court's blessing, I think Biden should do this to enforce the actual law of the United States, it would be a political disaster if he did it. There's no good way around this. And that is very unfortunate. It's going to take a direct order from the Supreme Court, I believe. They issued the ruling. They can issue an order. And if Abbott does not comply, as he says he's not going to, then he should be arrested. That's how this should go. Defying a court order. If I defy a court order, if you defy a court order, you will go to jail. Abbott's no different. He is being treated differently, but he shouldn't be. He's given his orders. He has to follow them. That's the law of the land. Biden shouldn't get involved. Because if he does, even though, again, I think he should, because obviously the Supreme Court's not going to do it, but in an ideal situation, the Supreme Court does it, arrests Abbott, tries him, convicts him, puts his ass in jail, and Biden stays out of it. But that's not going to happen, so Biden has to wade into this political minefield, and there's no safe way out for him. Ring of Fire is just a few subscribers short of hitting that 1 million subscriber milestone. So if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so, and stay up to date with all of the latest from Ring of Fire.